Right. Okay, good morning. I'm Dr. Karen Mikowski, aka Butterfly Karen. Welcome. I'm also the leading investigator on any of my cases, parapsychology and paranormal investigations. Welcome back. Welcome to another live interactive remote viewing session. So before I get started, it is the November the 6th. I'm going to clock and log in and all that beautiful stuff. So it is 11/6/24. And I'm clocking in at, okay, 10 a.m. exactly. Great. So.
This is an urgent message to all our...
Okay, just give me one moment. So, still trying to figure out this crazy live sort of stuff, but because I'm not used to sort of doing lives anyway, and I'm just, But anyway, so 10 a.m. That's because today I'm going to be literally remote viewing. I'm going to be working with the highest order. And this is going to be, I'm working today on IIDR, Intuitive Intelligence. Yeah, I believe it is 48. And also because I'm going to be connecting to the highest order, but I want some help with a young missing person. A person, you mean, can't believe it's retrograde. Here we go. The missing case of a young lady called Maelyn Carrera Lee Moore. So this is going to be CCMP, cold missing persons case. CCMP, I believe that is 68 or 69. Let me just check. 69. Top of my head. So now the reason I'm working on, I'm going to keep my chat there because before I actually start zoning out and all that beautiful stuff, I'm just going to be here present. So if you want to have a little chat with me, I can do that now. Okay, after last night's live chat, a video, I was discussing Hana Kobayashi. For the love of God, I can't speak. Let me just get some tea. But again, I don't really want to sort of reiterate that video, but I'd known now there was sort of like an energy interception when I was sort of working on their investigation down in Lake Havasu, or across in Lake Havasu. Now, this morning I wanted to focus on who the other energy was, and I knew it was in California, so I kind of went through, missing children, exploited children. I went through that sort of website, and I came across, and I'm sort of going through, and I thought, well, the energy will tell me. I'll get a hit on the energy, and I don't know what it was about Maelyn Carrera Lee Moore, but her face sort of stood out, and again, it's energy. Okay, well, let me just sort of zone in and see what's going on here. And it turns out she actually went missing on November the 1st. Let me just see what the information was for her. Which that would kind of make sense in the fact that because I was in Lake Havasu, I feel like there's something going on in that little town. And again, I'm going to sort of quickly sort of elaborate on what I'm finding. Now, Maelyn Carrera Lee Moore's case number is NCIC #M for mother 978186748, but she's become my sort of CCMP69 case. Now, she went missing from Redlands, California, and I don't know. I have a feeling because I was in Lake Havasu on the 28th and I was hitting energy and I was kind of trying to work on Anna's case and I was connecting to Anna's frequency. It's very possible this young lady could be in the Lake Havasu area or that surrounding area, or be moved through. Because for me, it's like when I think about those little towns, especially off the highway 62 through Joshua Tree. And now if you were going to Nevada, you would use, I mean, if you wanted to stay off the main highways and motorways and things like this, you'd want to take more of the back roads if you're going to be transporting people, victims and children in sex trafficking and things like that, human trafficking. So for me, it's like the Highway 60 towards Arizona from Los Angeles through, you know, right through Riverside. And then again, you would sort of come into Park, I mean, depending on which, if you want to go really south, you're going to Yuma, but that would be more from San Diego. Now, if you were going to head into Parker, Arizona, you would slightly go north into Lake Havasu. But then, you know, you've got access to sort of Colorado, or then you can go straight across into Phoenix. But again, if you were going to sort of Nevada, you would go, I believe you would probably go more on a Highway 60 towards Arizona. Highway 62, I believe, would take you sort of into, correct me though, I mean, I was sort of taking a quick look, but I think Highway 62 would be more into Nevada if you wanted to go to like Las Vegas and those areas. Now, there was something in Lake Havasu there, because like I said, once I got there and I started connecting to the frequencies, because my intention was to work on a missing persons case, and again, Hannah was the main focus, but now I know there was an interception. So it's very possible, and I'm feeling like it could be, oh, excuse me, it could be Maelyn more. Either way, now I've got the focus. I want to figure out, I want help from the highest order too to help me connect to this young lady's frequency. But there is some, it's really weird. Look, if I was human trafficking, you know, moving human people across state lines and things like this, if I was in California and I would obviously absolutely avoiding like Interstate 10 and things like that. And I would use the back roads, but it's like, for me, Lake Havasu is one of those little towns where it's like a little gateway, again, to Colorado, to even like back into Nevada if you go a bit further north. But again, I always say Arizona is a gateway to everything, to the whole states and then Mexico. But depending on where you're transporting people and children and humans, I don't know, there's just something, well, because it was a real weird pull to Lake Havasu that weekend anyway, there's something going on there. Like if you were to go to the sort of little surrounding towns, like, especially when because again, that's on the border, those border towns. And you know, I feel like, especially when I was focusing on, because I kept getting this hit on Joshua Tree. Now, Joshua Tree. Okay, let me just go with it. Right. Cali. So you've got California. Let's just, Joshua Tree. That came out so prevalently, and I even saw it as well. So now you're going to go north, you're going to head into Nevada, and then you're going to go sort of east towards Arizona from this point. It's like, if you wanted to be human trafficking or trafficking children, I mean, you're either going to go north of California that way, up into the, what's north? Well, I'm not going to focus that because I didn't feel like no, that's going to take me off. The focus was more Nevada and Arizona. But then again, once you get into, you can still sort of go into Colorado that way. And then you're heading up into Utah and places like that. So, but for me, it feels like Joshua Trees, there's a lot of like motels there where people, you can sort of stop there and like, I'm talking little shitty motels. I'm not being funny, but they are. And you know, they're really cheap for a reason. And you don't need to be checking your peoples in with you. You just, one person checks in, and then that's where you can hide human trafficking victims and children, right? Because they're not like most hotels where you've got to go for a whole, you know, how many are you checking in? And, you know, motels are a little bit different. So it feels like if you were coming from California, like from Los Angeles and those sort of areas, if you wanted to go into sort of like Nevada and Las Vegas, you might want to stop off in Joshua Tree that area, there's a real focus there for some reason. This could be like the perfect transient area for human traffickers and sex traffickers. And then you can sort of decide, oh, we're going to go into Arizona, we're going to go into Las Vegas, I mean, and are we going to go further up into Colorado? So this is, that's what I feel like. It feels like there's something, and even right, like sort of into Parker, like Parker, Arizona was weird too, weirdly coming up. And again, I've done my pre-preps. I've been I'm connected to the higher order this morning, and I'm pretty much since like 5:09 a.m. because I really wanted to sort of get connected. But I kept sort of hearing Parker, and so again, if you were to go into Parker, Arizona, you're either going to go straight across into where you want to be, south of Arizona, or west towards Phoenix, east towards Phoenix, or slightly north up to sort of lake little towns. And again, it's back roads and things like this. Motels, though, there's so many little towns and motels, but they're like prime hotspots for stopping and resting, and if you're driving long distance and things like this. But then you're talking about, this is where other traffickers can come in and start doing their trades. It just disgusts me. In this 21st century, I don't care. In the year 2024, if we can send rockets to Mars, you seriously think we should have a human trafficking and child trafficking problem? I don't think so. It's because of who's involved. That's why it's not cracked down on. So now, because I'm going to be connecting to the higher order today on this case, I want to really sort of zone into Maelyn Lee Moore's energy frequency, just see if I can get any hits on where she might be. And then again, the energy, the intercepted energy I was connecting to, I am worried because there's far too much desert for my liking. And the fact that there was motel rooms and the curtains were closed and they were dark, and then there was like at least two men, like when I was connected to who I thought was Anna, clearly isn't now, but it could be this other energy. There was two men in this hotel room with another woman, which I'm not being funny, but there's a lot of female handlers out there, and they're just as evil as the men. But it's all about the money. It's $1 billion industry. You've got to understand human trafficking and what they're trafficking for, sex trafficking, child trafficking. But a lot of women are handlers, and a lot of people are not going to be, especially women, are not going to be too concerned if they see a woman. You know what I mean? So, and yeah, you should be just as concerned these days. So that's why I feel like, and then it's the fact that there was a lot of threats going on. I was very aware that there were threats. So again, that to hold on a victim, you're going to be threatening them. You're going to be threatening like their families and things like this, or threatening their lives or anything. And then I felt my throat. Even on that first video that got taken down, it annoyed me. I felt like, I had to go for my throat because I thought, oh God, no. And again, because there's so much vast desert, it's like, but worst case scenario, now I know Hannah was on 3D, which means because I was still connected to her energy frequency, now we know she's alive. I want to reconnect to this particular energy because I want to find out if this particular energy, and I'm hoping it could be Maelyn, whether she's on 3D or 5D. But then if she's on 5G, that means she may have passed over, and but I want to sort of locate her physical vehicle body. Some people can't understand what I do, and it could trigger some people, but that's not my problem. I'm not here to sort of trigger people. I'm here to do what I need to do to help victims as well as loved ones find their missing loved ones. It's as simple as that. And cold cases, it's not nice, but it's not nice for me to sort of, especially when I'm working on a cold case, because I'm going to probably end up seeing their last memory. That is not pleasant at all, but it's got to be done because that's how I get the data and information. So I didn't like the feeling of this other victim now that was definitely held against, and it was a female, held against their will. So obviously I'm going to have the highest order sort of help me quickly reconnect back to that energy frequency. Is there anything else I just want to, before I sort of zone out and get started? Yeah, she went missing. She's been missing since November the 1st, 2024. And again, it's so weird. She could have taken that same route. She could have taken the route with the people that were moving her around into Arizona. So for me, I don't like it because there's too much. I've got to be careful what I say because I allegedly, but you know, this, again, in my personal opinion, in this day and age, again, with all the technology we've got, you should be able to crack down on this kind of crap. There shouldn't be, unless it's being logistically assisted by people who are involved in it, like law enforcement and people like that, and even, I don't care, everyday people are involved. So those in power. So that's not a conspiracy theory. It's truth. There's a lot of people who are really, you know, if you look at Florida right now, good thing about Florida is they're cracking down on the human traffickers and sex traffickers, and a lot of them are in positions of CPM, like child protection services and everything, right? There are so many people, everyday types of people, lawyers and everything, they're involved in this sort of stuff, again, because it's a billion-dollar industry, and you don't know what their intentions are or why they're involved in this, but until they get arrested, and most of it's perversion, obviously. So, but then it's just selling humans. So, and don't get me started on children, but she is a child. I believe she's like 15 or 16. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to focus on Maelyn more this morning. See if we can, when I literally connect to the higher order again, I'll reconnect because I'm still connected. I want to see if I can get any more. I want to focus on their energy frequency. And then if there's anything else the higher order wants the collective to know, that's going to be a part of the IIDR48 video report. So you're going to have to just watch me with an open mind. I am not normal, and I like that. But this is what I specialize in. This is what I do. And it's very parapsychological. So I just use my human abilities and multi-dimensional abilities and all that beautiful stuff. So if you want to learn a little bit more about me, you can go to my website, drkaramakowski.com, or you can watch my other videos on my YouTube channel, especially my intuitive intelligence. Now, I feel like I'm going to be focusing on, there's a big focus on California right now, even with the higher order is like full-blown California. I was even doing that video based on the earthquake and the tsunami one, and it's now apparently being cancelled. But that's okay. I'm still watching that. I'm still focusing on California. There's something going on in California right now, and I feel like a lot of it's underground. And like I said in that video, I'm hoping this is where they're going to start retrieving nearly over 20,000 children, or a lot of children in that particular area, and bringing them up above ground, finding them. But I feel like 20,000 children across the whole state, but they're connected to trafficking rings and everything. But there's a big problem in California. A lot of it starts in there. A lot of these people that are from, especially Los Angeles and Hollywood, they're all involved in it again. So as it's all coming out to, you know, but I feel like there's even though because you got to remember there's earthquakes. I mean, the earthquake that happened yesterday morning, that was like, the magnitude was like 7.3, and that's, you know, that's big. That's like, and that caused a tsunami warning. But you got to remember, California have earthquakes all the time. For me, I have a theory, and it can only be a theory only, obviously. But I have a feeling that a lot of what is perceived or is believed to be an earthquake could be underground shelters, underground cities, underground luxury. That's big, and I was discussing that one of my videos earlier in the year, and I'll try and find the intuitive intelligence video report for that. I'll put it in the link and all that beautiful stuff. But I was discussing these people are going to go in underground and hide out, right, into their underground luxury shelters. No, they're not. I think they are, but they're either going to get either Mother Earth is just going to go, I don't think so, and just crack them, the foundations of what they've built from underneath, or they're going to get blown up. And that's a big mission going on. It's been going on for a few years now, but why should they run and hide? Especially what they're sort of plotting for the whole world too. It's very genocidal. So why do they get to hide? I don't think so. There's no way. First of all, the white hats are in control. The highest order's in control. And these people are not going anywhere but to hell, which is below ground anyway. So you've got to understand what these people are involved in and how evil they are, right? And this is very intuitive intelligence right now. So this is why I'm combining two together. And they're involved in all of this: child trafficking, sex trafficking, exploitation. They're involved in all of it. Human trafficking, organ harvesting. It's evil as it comes, but people have got to start waking up and understanding the truth and learning that what you're programmed to think is this beautiful, like this so-called world that you think is perfect. It's not perfect at all. That's called a mirror. That's like a mirror. Like a mirage, like what the entertainment and mainstream everything is trying to program your minds to think, oh, I'm here and live this beautiful life. You don't understand what else behind the shadow side of that is really going on. So, and a lot of people are getting that awakening of what's truly happening in the world anywhere right now. And I said this before, stop worshipping celebrities. The only person you should be worshipping on this planet is you. That's it. Or God, but whether you want to believe in. But you don't worship other human beings, you just worship you. Because that's where your self-love and self-actualization comes from. So I'm feeling very strongly towards, I feel like there's a focus on California. So I feel like we're going back there today with a higher order. Now I do believe there is. Can I prove it? No. We're just going to have to wait. Like a lot of my hits, and I've been discussing all year, everything's coming to pass. It's all coming out, and you know, that's the only way I can prove my field. But I'm hoping I knew there was a major mission going on, and I'm hoping this is the major mission, and it's to do with my recent Donald Trump situation scenario sitrep that I was discussing. And I'll put that link in the video too, so you can understand what I'm talking about, and then that way you can understand where I'm going here. Okay, it's coming in now. I'm just going to wait for my dimensional door as well to come in so I can sort of connect through. But there was a situation. I feel like that's been foiled now, thank God. But I did say it's okay. I needed foiling anyway. That whatever was set up, it's disgusting. But it would lead if people were following, they were following the electronic trails of people involved in stuff, even the little gutter trash at the bottom of the pyramid, right? If they would just follow those and the certain types of people involved, it would lead them to finding over 20,000 children. And I'm going to stand by that because I feel like, hopefully, fingers crossed, for the love of God, by the end of this year, we are going to get some news that a lot of children have been found, missing children held under, So for me, I feel like California is the so-called, it's like a sort of cover, isn't it? But it may not be an earthquake per se, even though, again, they always get aftershocks and stuff like that all the time. But if it is, I feel like they may be using, under the guise of that, to go in and just start like blowing up some of these underground hideouts and stuff like that. But they'll hopefully find the victims first and then just get rid of there is underground tunnels, right? You got to understand, in California and from Los Angeles and all those areas, a lot of these mansions that these celebrities live in, they've all got underground tunnels connecting to each other. They are perverts. They are disgusting, evil human beings, first of all. And secondly, these underground tunnels are connected to different states, with different cities and everything. It's like a completely different world. Like I say all the time, they share this planet with us, but they live in a completely different world, and most of their worlds are actually underground, or everything's hidden. not for long, because all of that's coming to the surface anyway. So while I'm here, let me just give a quick wave to everybody. So it's like a big butterfly heart and a big smile. So let's just say hi to everybody. So, okay. Oh, hello there. I don't want to do that. Send. There you go. There you go, everybody. Just hi. Hello for coming in and watching. So, now, before I go, and I'm feeling like my dimensional door is going to be making its appearance soon. So, before I zone out and go through that, does anybody have any questions or anything like that? No, keep it positive, because what I do is it's already dark. It's already, you know, keep it light. But if you do have any questions, it's a good time to sort of ask me. I do have a pay it forward service too. Like if you go to my website, there is like a pay it forward service, or whatever you want to make a contribution. I have a pay it forward service for a reason. What people give to me, I give to people for people through me. Right? That's kind of what I do. I do a lot of like free parapsychological investigations for people on court cases and missing persons cases, as well as like spiritual counseling and things like this. That's part of my pay it forward service. So I'm going to just bring this here just in case anybody does want to ask me any questions. I'll have a little chat, and then I'll give it like 5-10 minutes, and then I'm going to zone out because I feel I've got downloads coming in and everything. And it is like it's California. It's a big focus, but again, remember this is a big. Do you know what it's for me? It's like the depot, human trafficking depot, right? Everything goes from California. It's a really dark place. Now, I like to go to San Diego. I love going into California to some beauty. It's a beautiful state. It's just a people problem. That's all. And I keep wanting to get to Los Angeles, but I gotta have a lot of guardians, and they don't let me go anywhere north of San Clemente. And that's just for now. Maybe in the future that'll change, but I've tried so many times to go into Los Angeles, but the energy is so dark, and the dense dark matter that people pull in and everything, and what they're attached to, and very, very low vibrational energy there. It's very prevalent in sort of like Los Angeles and Hollywood and all of those areas. So, I mean, I know I feel it, the energy and everything. It's the same with Las Vegas. I got, like I was saying in my other video, I got as far as 30 minutes outside Las Vegas, and I could already feel energy in the desert. I'm like, oh God. And it got darker and denser, and I'm like, and I could not do more than, I did 2 nights in Las Vegas. I'm not in a rush to go back to that place until the people problem changes, right? Because it's, again, evil is a choice. It's not a condition or a thing. It's a choice to be evil. So, okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to give it 2 more minutes, and then I'm going to go from my, because I'm already seeing the coming in. Okay, yeah, my dimensional door is ready when I'm ready, but I'll give it 2 more minutes. So, now for those that don't understand what remote viewing is, it's a visualization method. It's a method that's used for, it's just connecting to your human abilities, using your third eye and everything. Right? It's nothing to do with the devil. So there's a lot of ignorant people out there that think, oh my God, that's the devil's work. It's nothing to do with the devil. First of all, I don't worship the devil. I don't worship cowards. Right? So let's get that straight. People have got to understand that. A lot of people that are into sort of like satanic worshipping and into the devil worshipping and things like that, they use this remote viewing method for what they do, which is the darkness. So they abuse it. And all they're doing is just astral spying. But they abuse those methods. These are just the abilities of the mind. We've all got access to all of these abilities. You just got to know about them, learn about them, and you've obviously got to activate them. And then you master them over time. You've got to practice it too. But we can all do it. This is nothing. But for some weird reason, people are quite ignorant, and they think, oh my God, that's like the devil's work. It's nothing to do with the devil. But people are entitled to their own opinions, and that's fine. But scientifically, as a scientist in this field, I don't think so. And then if you want to research remote viewing, then just look at the CIA funding project back in the 70s and why they had a lot of funding to work with and train remote viewers, because it's a form of astral spying. It's connecting to the ether, beyond the veils, realms, dimensions, everything. So it's a way to sort of, well, they call it spy warfare back then. That's what it was. Remote viewing was a form of spy warfare back in the 70s. But over time, when you watch my other videos, you're going to understand a lot of sort of secret societies and people that work with the lowest order, the lowest brotherhood of darkness and things like this. There is many, right? They use that remote viewing method to spy on people, to send energy attacks and everything. So do witches and warlocks, anybody that's involved in any of that sort of stuff, white witches, green witches, any of that, it's the intention behind everything. So anybody that's into weird stuff, they will use that remote view. Even tarot card readers, they will connect to someone's energy frequency without their permission and spy on them for the cards, right? But it's a form of energy. It's a form of energy manipulation, but it's energy spying. There is a price to pay for that, though, because if you understand all of this, you'll understand there's universal laws in place. And people that abuse these abilities and gifts, they know there's universal laws in place. They arrogantly think they don't apply to them, but they do. So now, if you want to learn a little bit more about what I discussed with all of this kind of stuff, if you were to go back to the beginning of the year and watch all of my intuitive intelligence, like 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D, all the different high dimensions, I discuss all of this, everything. I've been exposing this kind of stuff all year, and it's all coming to pass. Everything I said was going to happen, even right down to Trump's assassination attempt, the first one and everything, that spies in the skies. You can go there, you can watch and catch up, because it all comes in sequential orders anyway. Right, so I am going to go for that dimensional door now. So now I'm zoned out, I'm probably not going to be able to interact. So once I come out, I'll let you know what I'm bringing in. Okay. So the intention right now for CCMP69 is to connect to the energy frequency of, I'm just going to write her name here, Maelyn, Carrera. Oh, yeah, I can already see her. Okay. Lima. Hopefully I can get some challenges on 3D. Okay. 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 Right. Straight off the back, I am hearing trafficking, and I heard boyfriend. Okay, so let me keep connected. So boyfriend. I don't know anything about this young woman at all, so I don't know her personal life. Very shame. Okay. That explains the sedatives, the drowsy. I feel like she could be trafficked into Las Vegas. And again, could have stopped in Joshua Tree area on the way on route. It feels very strong. Coercion. Oh God. God, I feel numb. This is not my energy. Oh God, serious. Could be drugs. When I'm connected to frequencies, I can pretty much feel what they've either been through or dealing with. It's pleasant. I feel like my face is, it's not my energy, it's not me. But I feel like my face is numb. Like, I feel like my whole body's numb anyway. Oh. Oh God. Oh God. Away. I'm just seeing and feeling like being hit on the head and there's blood just seeping down my forehead. Like I'm being attacked or something. This my right, towards the right forehead. description of the men. I'm seeing a lot of men in the, there's multiple men now, it's not just one or two. We want to find a lot of these underage sex trafficking victims who are in strip joints in Las Vegas. There's an age requirement. They could be saved tomorrow, but you've got to understand a lot of people in powerful positions like to go and watch these 13, 14-year-old girls. You evil, disgusting men, vile. But there's handouts, there's back handouts and everything. That's why those young girls are on those stages dancing. They're not even fully developed. I've seen it myself. It's disgusting. But that can be cracked down tomorrow. There's far too much mafia involvement there, so that's not going to change. There's hundreds, maybe 1,000. I don't know. Maybe that's like, well, depends if they're being hidden. There's so many sex traffic underage girls in Las Vegas on the stage in those strip joints. It's serious. They could be found tomorrow and sent home. But men are paedophiles. They like to watch the very young ones and clearly being shown this disgusting. They like to watch. This is dark. It's very possible Maelyn may have been taken there because I heard age requirement for like them really young. Oh God. But again, you got to remember, Las Vegas in Nevada, prostitution's legal. Child trafficking, underage sex trafficking, and that's not legal. But prostitution is. There's always loopholes for these paedophiles and perverts. I'm going to pull out that energy a bit. That's too dark for me. I don't like that. Right, let me just. There's age requirements. It's sex trafficking. I feel like this young girl has been sex trafficked, but I had boyfriend and I did hear trafficking first, but coercion. She may have been coerced into it by a boyfriend. I don't know. I did see two. Oh God, I feel sick. I feel sick because it's dark energy. It's just dark. It's disgusting. You gotta remember, I can't believe this. Senators, they go to these places. They go to the strips. There's senators, they go to these strip joints. When you got these people visiting strip joints, right, these sort of men, right, visiting strip joints, because again, it's legal to in Las Vegas. It's legal to prostitute and everything. It's not, again, but I'm talking, right now I'm discussing, this is sex trafficking, child trafficking, right? But when you've got powerful men like this, going to places like this, enabling it by funding it, this is why nothing gets done about it. It's why you can't. It's just disgusting. And then I had running low on product. That's why I feel like there's a huge influx of sudden, in the space of a short period of time, there's been a high influxation of missing children, a running low on product. And my face was numb. I could feel like yeah, it is put on drugs. These drugs is this is just horrible. This is awful. Let me have a look. Let me see what's going on. I need to. I'm just hearing the older women, strippers, prostitutes, they're not even protecting these young girls. If anything, they're jealous of them because they make more money for the pedos and the perverts. So the older you get in that trade, you're not going to make as much money, are you? Especially when they're bringing in very young children, young girls in. So they're not even being protected by women. If anything, it's like they're getting abused by them, physically abused by them. So they're not only they're dealing with evil, disgusting, sex trafficking handlers, and criminals, and perverts, and being abused physically, every other thing. But they're also being physically attacked and abused by women who should be protecting them. But these women are jealous. These women are just awful women. It's almost like they've become what was done to them. So instead of helping and healing, they've become the very thing that hurt them. Again, that's what's wrong with society. That's why none of this will change. And we know there's a Phoenix stripper circuit, and obviously there's prostitution that goes on in that too. But you know, in Arizona, I don't believe prostitution's legal. But that doesn't. It happens, right? And it's on that circuit too. But that circuit, I've mentioned this in another video. That circuit is connected to they're all connected. And they're all trafficked because it's one big, huge network across the whole United States in the major cities. They're all interconnected with each other. So they all distribute across state lines. When you're talking about these types of powerful people involved and people with money, these are the ones that sex traffic these children on flights and everything, private jets, boats, that crap. If you don't remove those in power, the rich people in power, and that's where a lot of that's where the logistic control comes from. If you don't take them down, you're not going to be able to, can't do anything but the gutter trash, rats at the bottom, because it's those at the top that pay these people to get them victims, bring victims. Just look at what's happening with that twat, that piece of POS in jail, in prison right now. He's just one part of the problem, but he's part of the interconnected network, that's all. And he just happens to be a celebrity, allegedly involved in, but and again, they're all involved. There's no point in going after the lower the lower pyramid, right? You can get them anytime. The cops already know. A lot of, right, you got to understand as well, right? I'll tell you something else about Phoenix that I've been getting from the highest order. Oh God, I feel sick. I actually feel physically sick. This is just making me feel physically sick. What I'm getting from the highest order that I've been getting for weeks now, here in just Phoenix alone, again, because there is a network of prostitution and all of that, stripping the whole shebang. A lot of these women are handlers, they're ex-prostitutes, ex-lap dancers, whatever, but they're also involved in human trafficking and sex trafficking, getting clients for their pimps, right? But they are involved in it. And the problem that's going on here, sorry, I've just got a download coming in. There's clearly more coming in. Let me just bring it in as I won't lose focus. I just want to, I'm hitting on something as well. Right, I'll come to that in a moment. Right, so, but a lot of these ex-lap dancers, former lap dancers, prostitutes, etc., former prostitutes, whatever, they're informers. They are police informers. And they can't get away from that because of sexual favors that go in. I'm talking about dodgy cops, the bad eggs, right? They use these women as informants, right? They also get sexual favors out of them. That's why a lot of these sort of women can get away with committing crimes and everything, even though they're informants about grassing on other people, like snitching on criminals. They're actually criminals themselves, right? And they actually get away with breaking the law because they're informers, because they're giving out sexual favors to crooked cops, crooked lawyers, and all that kind of stuff, politicians. That's big in Phoenix. That's big in Arizona. Now, but that's small compared to California, right? It's just a small, that's like a little one part of the problem that's, again, interconnected. So when you have these sort of prostitutes and lap dancers and stuff that get into it voluntarily, that's okay. Free will, you can do what you want. I don't judge people's lifestyles, but that's what you're involved in. And that's their choice. Now, I'm not talking about, a lot of these I'm talking about, they were not traffic victims. They went into this voluntarily, right? For whatever reason, that's okay. Money, usually money and drugs. But these are the types of women that will traffic younger women for these pervert pimps and everything. But even though they get out of the lifestyle of the streets, they never completely get away from it because they're still connected to like law enforcement office. They're still informants, whatever. And so they never truly, and then they still deal with pimps. So they're not really free. When you go on the game, right? And I'm speaking as a British woman now, I understand how it works in England and everything. When you choose to get in the game, you never get out of it. There's usually maybe a few ways out of it. And I'm just focusing on voluntarily getting involved in trade, in prostitution. I'm not talking about sex trafficking. Being kidnapped and stuff like that. I'm talking to these voluntary prostitutes and lap dancers and things like that. Because once you get into it, you never really get away from it. That reputation, whether you're using it to fund college, whatever, that will follow you. That trade will follow you for the rest of your life, right? It's still a form of prostitution. Just because you're dancing for money and taking your clothes off, that is the trade. That is prostitution. You are literally selling your body. And when you're doing those private dances, the sex goes on involved in that, the private dances. I know people are involved in it. They're not friends, thank God. I mean, back in the day, one of my first husband's best friend had a strip joint. I know exactly what goes on in these fucking places. So, and what goes on behind the curtains in the private dance. It's prostitution. You're exchanging sex for money. Or whether it's just a dance or whatever, whatever you want back there. private for a reason. So it's not rocket science, is it? But you never get away from the trade. You're never gonna, it will always be part of your future. So, and again, that's entirely, that's the free will of people. You can do what you want. But and if you can escape that and then continue on to your, I don't know, whatever you're majoring in, you'll always have that sort of trade at the back of your mind, like how you sort of got there, and is that going to be my skeleton in my closet that's going to creep up on me at some point in the future? Absolutely, probably, yeah, right? But that's, you kind of risk that, knowing that before you get into it. People are not stupid. And secondly, the other part, the other dangerous, and I'm really clearly going here somewhere, the other dangerous side of this is, if you're owned by a pimp, you're not ever going to be free. You might be able to get out of the game, and you might be too old. However, you're going to have to do other stuff. Right? You're never completely free. You're owned by somebody. So that's the saddest reality. And usually when women do want to fully, and they know too much, they know too many crimes that have been committed by the pimps and everything, they've seen too much. So they are literally, no, there. And to people like in powerful positions, they know too much about them. And you seriously think you're going to live a free life? No, you're completely owned, probably for the rest of it. And and it's really sad because a lot of women, a lot of ex-prostitutes and lap dancers, they end up dead because they know too much. Or they're heavily on drugs, they're addicted to drugs. So, and usually an overdose will take them and things like this. You never live a truly free life after that sort of lifestyle anyway. And it's incredibly sad, but that's the reality of that. That's the dangers of the oldest trade in the book. This is nothing new. So, and that's just the voluntary side of getting into this. When you're talking about child trafficking and sex trafficking and people getting kidnapped for this trade, they didn't have a choice. It was against their will. These are the ones I feel sorry for. Choosing to get involved in it, that's entirely up to you. Go for it. I don't really feel sorry for those women because they know the money's good. They know what they're getting involved in, and they know there's no real great outcome. There's no real freedom, right? But they know this. So each to your own. You can do what you want. That's a beautiful thing about life and free will. However, this shit, no way. These are the only victims I feel sorry for when it comes to the trade. It's disgusting. And it's children. Makes me sick. So that's why there's the interconnection from Phoenix to Las Vegas. Right across. It's all... Oh God, I don't want to mention that. I've got to, because it's the highest order, and it's probably, if you're wondering where a lot of missing prostitutes, sex workers, you can call them what you want, you can label. I just stick with the reality of it, right? It's what you are, it's what these women are. Not all of it. But and it's awful that the way they get treated and everything. It's not nice. It's not nice to be treated like this by men, right? And and because I'm so focused on the dangers of getting into this, that you never... And the reason it's still dangerous is because there's such a vast array of desert. Like, I'm just hearing from the highest order, if you want to find most of the missing prostitutes, their words, that's it, you'll find them in the desert. And that doesn't surprise me at all. It's really sad. It's disgusting. It's sad. Men are evil. Not all, thank God. But some women are evil too, but not all, thank God. It's just evil human behavior. Evil. It's a choice. I don't care what you twisted evil shrinks tell you that are probably involved in this shit anyway. most of them, not all of them, but a lot. God, it's all types of people. It's horrible. That's why it's so vast. That's why it doesn't end, because of the types of people out involved, doctors and everything. Oh my God, it's sick. It really brings out the pissed off pasture in me and passionate soul just mouthing, oh God, I hate it. I hate this. But I feel like so much is being done this year, and hopefully by the end of the year, a lot of these networks are going to be shut down. But you're going to have to clean your houses. Every type of business, every type of agency, everything. You've got to clean it with the bad eggs. You've got to get rid of the bad eggs. They're the ones who are involved in all of this. If you don't clean your houses, it's never going to end. You want to destroy this billion-dollar industry. You take the ones at the top of the pyramid first that funds it, right? Funnels the money. Then you take out the networks that logistically utilize it, utilize the roads and everything. Yeah. Flights, the lot, private. It's a dark world we live in. Start at the top of the pyramid, which I feel like that's what's happening anywhere. Take out the networks, they're gone. Then nothing's been truly funneled, they're done. And then the little gutter trash, kidnappers and abductors and disgusting evil creatures in human form, they're not going to get paid, so they're not going to start kidnapping victims, are they? They might do for their own perversions, but there's going to be no trade to sell it into, is there? That's how you got to take it out. You can't start from the bottom of the pyramid and work your way up. It doesn't work like that. You've got to go right to the top, and you stop the funneling then. So, I want to know from the highest order why there's a huge emphasis on California to do with all of this and what is happening, and is the earthquake to do with that? So, this is really heavy energy. I don't like this energy. It's too dark and heavy. God, if you understood what types of people are involved in this shit, you'd just be shocked. Your neighbours and everything, like they're in your HOA, they're in your communities and everything. They're everywhere. They're in your workplaces, but you'd never know because you wouldn't even suspect. People involved in this are everyday people. It's really sickening and it's scary and sad. And they're always looking for vulnerable children and vulnerable people. Right, okay, what's going on? Okay, whoa, okay, interesting. Huh. This might just be confirming what I kind of already suspected, theoretically. Okay. Is this underground? Okay. Yeah. Thank God we've got amazing task force and agents, men and women. Thank God for them, who are doing everything they can to crack it down on this. Oh God, if it wasn't for the good ones, we'd be, And we've got to remember there are more good ones than bad, but it's the bad ones. They just contaminate everything, don't they? So, God, oh it hurts my head. It hurts. It's just such dark energy. It's so bad. It's like there's a right. So I was hearing the infrastructure in California is being demolished. And I obviously asked, is it underground? Yes. And then I heard a ricochet effect. The ricochet effect is going to affect the whole international nationwide networks. So that's the only way you can do it. Oh, I feel like that's what's happening. Oh, please, God. Find over 20,000 children. Bring them home for Christmas. Is there anything else in this horrible dark energy? Season farmer, you've got to, yeah, you've got to stop this perverted prostitution informants. That's got to stop. That's just corruption and. But the FBI can deal with that, unless of course some of their agents are into that kind of shit too. Then you got no chance, have you? But you'd have to have internal affairs involved, especially in the corruption side of law enforcement and stuff like that, with those that use prostitutes as informants. You take away the, oh God. Thank God not all cops are like that. Not all law enforcement's like that, right? But if I was married to a law enforcement, I'd be getting regular HIV tests and everything. If I was a wife of one. I don't care. In this day and age, or this weird, free accessible to, no, I don't care. I would just want to take care. I'd be paranoid about my health if I would. I'm not saying all, right? But I'm talking about the bad eggs. If I was married to a bad egg cop, right, or in powerful positions, oh God, this is why I don't like dating or anything. I don't even have sex. This makes me love being celibate. This evil, twisted, dark shit. These perverted men in society today. It's hard to trust any of them. It's hard to trust the good ones as well, because we don't know where the good ones are. Same with the good women. It's hard to find the good women because we're polluted by this evil shit. Polluted by whores, male and female form. They're everywhere. It's so rampant in society. It's enough to want. It's enough to stay celibate. It's safer for the sake of your health to be celibate, right? And that's sad. That's a sorry state of affairs. But until, no. God, it's passionate. And I'm probably feeling the energy of the collective in that. Because everything, it's all in porn. It all goes into porn. It all goes into, it's just insipid, evil, twisted, perverted shit. And this is rampant in society. And you wonder why people have trust issues. When people say to me, oh, you've got to learn to trust, I don't think so. When people are out there like, oh my God, love and light, you've got to learn to trust again. No, you don't. You give people the benefit of the doubt. You don't need to trust. You earn trust. With this kind of insipid shit, I don't think so. I'm not in a rush to trust anybody. So, no, I can still be love and light and everything and all that beautiful stuff, but I'm very careful about who I invest my energy with anyway, just in friendships to learn, etc. Not like learn any, oh God, no. That's why I don't date. That's why I don't do any of that, no. And after my recent video about online dating pimps and oh God, handlers and everything, no, it's not. Online dating handlers, dating pimping. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, isn't it? It's online. It's everywhere. Online dating. Oh God. And then you end up with this. And you only have to date the wrong person, male or female, that they get you involved in this shit. It's a human behavioral problem. And to be doing any of this, whether you're doing it through the dating or getting people involved in human trafficking, sex trafficking, prostitution, all of that, right? That is a choice. But it's all about money, innit? And power and control. That's why I'm not in no rush to go to Los Angeles, because all of this is rampant right there. And I'm not interested in mixing my beautiful light energy with dark, dense energy. But that's just my personal opinion. Not everybody's like this, thank God, but not everybody's bad. But a lot are. But I would say a lot of pollution of it, right? I've got to pull out this energy. I don't like it. So, is there anything else? HO. Now, let me just go back, refocus back on Maelyn more. Oh God, I just feel, it feels like she may have been coerced by a boyfriend into trafficked. So sad. I really can't stand doing these heavy ass energy videos with the highest order of this stuff. I mean, it's been all year. Thank God it's been coming in sporadically as well, because this kind of stuff really hurts my heart. My heart's too big for this world. It's human destructive behavior. It's evil, it's perverted. This is just sexual perversions, right? Like, can't even control, these men can't even control their sexual perversions, and women. It's not, there's no double standards here, but more men are involved in that, unfortunately. They enable, and, you know, if there wasn't a trade, if the men weren't paying for it like this, in all areas of this, not just one particular area, this won't even be a billion-dollar industry, would it? And many female handlers were coercing or helping to kidnap and all that shit, and selling the vaginas too, to make money in this. Wouldn't be a billion-dollar industry, would it? If people were sick and twisted, wouldn't fund into a billion-dollar industry, would they? Okay. So I'm hoping it feels like, obviously there's something big going on with cracking down on this, like, again, because there are task force and there are missions going on. I feel like there's a big mission going on in California right now, which is good in one way, because if it trickulates through to the networks, again, you can find over 20,000 children just by demolishing the networks. I'm serious. I feel like we're going to find over 20,000 children by the end of the year, hopefully, or next year. But I'd love them all to be found for Christmas and sent home, and therapy and healing and everything. But I feel like something big's going on like that. And if there's a ricochet effect, maybe Maelyn Lee, Carrera Lee Moore can be one of the go home to be found. That Most High God made my heart too big for this. I don't know why. I don't know why God thinks I can handle this, because it hurts it's horrible. So sad. And yeah, if they're running low on products, and I don't even want to start going into different areas of that, but let's just stick with the, you know, the human children and human traffic victims for sex trafficking purposes and sex trade. If they're running low on product, yeah. I felt like there was especially this year, earlier in the year, maybe just last 2 or 3 years, there's a huge, well then you got to understand what was the children that were coming across the border and everything, women being trafficked across the, you know, the border and everything. Like, if you understand, again, it's still, even President Trump's still trying to figure out where 320,000 missing children are in the United States alone, just because of the border being open. Evil at the top of the pyramid, evil, pure evil, that allowed all of that to come in and happen. And if President Trump stands by his word, the deep state of all of this that's involved in this, because don't think for a second the deep state involved in any of this. I don't think so. Yeah, they are. Again, every type of person, that's going to be, hopefully, by the love of God, will be completely demolished. I feel like he's going to probably do everything he can to dismantle it all. It'll take some time. It's not going to happen overnight. But I feel like I feel like it started. So, okay, I got to pull out this energy. I don't want to focus any more of this, because I'm going to get more upset and passionate. And so I'm going to close out of all of this at 11:18 a.m. Oh God, it just feels heavy. So now, does anybody want to have a chat? I'm so sorry if it's not pleasant to learn about and listen to and watch and hear about, but we cannot fix this world with lies and closing our eyes and stuff like that. It starts with truth. You have to start with truth. Truth is what sets everybody free. So by bringing it to the table, literally, it's a way of understanding what's truly going on. And the truth hurts. Nobody likes truth. Well, tough titty. I don't particularly like lies, but people are happy to be lying all the time and whatever. That doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help anybody at all. Don't even help yourself by lying. You just got to figure out a way to hear the truth, listen to it, deal with it, and then be part of the solution of fixing it, rather than being part of the problem by ignoring it, pretending it's not happening, or enabling it through everything that's wrong with the world. So, does anybody have any questions or want to interact while I am here before I leave the live too? Oh God. So I'm just going to sort of watch the chat here. Now I am going to refocus my next week. I'm going to be Native American women. There's a lot of those young women and women going missing here across the states, but in Alaska, there's a weird problem with that. But there is a young mother. I've got her report somewhere because I've already looked into it, but I want to I don't want to focus on a name right now. I don't want to, because I know what the higher order will do. But I'll wait. So that would be a case for her on her own. So I'm not going to put the whole HR focus and everything onto that too. But I want to focus on the next interactive remote viewing session on trying to find her, because I do believe she has like, is it 1 or 2 children? I always forget. I mean, I heard about this like maybe a year ago, and I remember thinking, what is wrong with this? What is going on with these Native American women just going missing? Like a lot. Something wrong there as well. It's very strange. So, but I'm going to focus on her case next week. Now, it doesn't look like anybody wants to chat, so I think I'm going to leave that there and go into the garden and reground completely and really pull myself out of that dark energy. It's not nice. I've got to transmute that energy now. So if you are into the whole sex trade and stuff like that, be careful, understand, and I'm talking about voluntarily, not against your will or anything like that, because those victims don't have a say, right? But I'm talking directly to those, or putting out to those people that voluntarily get into it, whether you're doing it on OnlyFans, whether you're doing it on Pornhub, whether you're getting involved in the sex trade or the prostitution trade at all, however you're doing it, just know what you're getting into first, and just know that there's no real good outcome at the end of it. Before you're getting into it, the money's good, yeah, obviously, because you can buy sports cars and all that kind of crap. But don't think for a second you're going to have a life without a pimp. And then remember, pimps don't, if you're making money for a pimp, right, male or female, they're not going to let you go that easily. And then depending on who your pimp is and what powerful position they're in or anything like that, you might not be able to get out of it at all. So just kind of be careful of what you're sort of voluntarily getting into before you do. If you're coerced into it, then reach out. There are resources and support networks you can find to help you escape it. There are ways of getting out of it, but you got to be so careful, because the types of men that are involved in any of this, or even pimps, no offense, but they're dangerous men, especially if they're male pimps. I won't even trust the female pimps these days. Something wrong with them, their psychosis and everything. It's weird. But you're talking about, in this game, in this weird game, you're dealing with psychopaths and sociopaths that are involved in all of this. And you seriously think they're not going to think twice about taking you out, especially if you know too much about what they're involved in. It happens all the time. This has been happening since the dawn of man and woman. This is the oldest trade in the book. It's always been dangerous, and it always will be. And with advancements in technology, and where there's more money, and where it's a constant, disgusting billion-dollar industry, globally, it's very hard to escape it. But it's the oldest trade, and it's always been dangerous. And again, I'm not speaking directly about those getting into this against their will. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking to those voluntarily getting into it. Know what you're getting involved in and who you're getting involved with before you do it, because you may shorten your lifespan, or you may not be able to get out, or you may not have a happy life the way you think afterwards. And remember, these types of men, well, first of all, they like their women young, and very young, because they're not pedophiles. They are. A lot of them are pedos, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be a big red flag to YouTube. But this is the truth. The truth needs to be spoken. A lot of these men that are involved in all of this, they're like very young women and young gals. It's just, and even young boys. It's disgusting, right? So for those women that are getting into it voluntarily, you're going to come to a certain age where you're going to be too old for these men. That's how disgusting they are. And if you're hoping to have a happy life as a happy wife with no, that's not how that doesn't happen. that's a wishful thinking, but that's not the reality. Now, if they're getting you if you're getting involved in drugs, or they're getting you involved in drugs and stuff like this, then you're talking about addictions. It's very hard to get out of. And then obviously, if you got a pimp that's enabling that, you know, feeding you, it's a hard life. It's a different lifestyle, but it's an old lifestyle. It's an old trade, but it's no less dangerous today than it ever was before. So I urge those women, whether you're doing it on a stage as dancers and all that kind of stuff, just be careful. Be careful what you're allowing yourself to see and witness. Very careful. Very careful, because you mean nothing to these men. And again, the women that are involved in this are just like the men. These men or whatever. These people are evil. You mean nothing to them. You are literally trade. And it takes a lot to really sort of escape it. And if you can sustain a life after this, you're going to have some serious therapy and everything. And you're talking like major, like self-love and everything. And that's a process just for the normal person that isn't involved in any of this, especially women, because of what we're programmed to think we have to look like for men. Are you fucking serious right now? Hell no. No, I don't care about all of that consumerized crap and programming and third dimensional shit. I don't think so. Anybody that tells me I'm supposed to look like this to get what a man, I don't think so. I'll buy a love machine before I have to deal with a man to look a certain way or be to please him. I don't think so. I'm going to be pleasing me first. So that's how I feel about that. But that's what love, self-love and self-respect and everything and self-actualization comes from, working on oneself. You cannot work on oneself when you're involved in this. It's not possible. But you can live the life you want and you can do what you want. That's a beautiful thing about free will in life. You can absolutely. And if you're good at the trade, have at it. Just be very careful. That's all. And if you're involved in the trade and you're watching real victims that didn't come into this voluntarily and you're part of the abusive problem, you need to go to jail or prison because you're part of the problem. So if you've been hurt and now you're hurting others, you're the problem. So I'm going to leave that there, because other than that, just heal, find a way out, find an escape route and heal and try and you can always change your life. And I always say it all the time, there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. And unfortunately, for those sort of women that I'm talking about in this sort of game and stuff like that, you could, if you want to do the right thing and you have to maybe try and disclose crimes against humanity you've seen, you've got to be very careful who you're trusting when it comes to law enforcement. You've got to pray to God they're not corrupted or the bad eggs, or you're in trouble. I'm serious. And not all of them are bad eggs and not all of them are corrupted, but you've got to be very careful. So, but if you can find, then there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. So other than that, I'm going to leave that there. Hopefully I will see you all again here very soon. Like I say, if you do like my sort of content, you like the way I work and all that beautiful stuff, and assertively, you know, because I'm a true speaker and that's it. I don't sugarcoat the realities of life because that doesn't help anybody at all. I'm not for everybody and I'm not like anybody else, which is fantastic. So if you kind of like my way of doing stuff and you like my videos, just give me a little thumbs up and subscribe, hit that little alert. And again, like I say, December is more interactive lives and all that beautiful stuff. And other than that, I will see you all again very soon. Take care, and it's the weekend, so have a great weekend. Ciao, ciao.